Hello, my name is Taylor Clements, and this is an in-depth dissertation review for EDL792. I am reviewing Technohubs in Teacher Education, the lived experience of assisting peers with instructional technology issues by Dr. Michael Rook. Just about this presentation, I'm going to talk about the school, and then the author committee, and then the review process, the paper, the research itself, the strengths and limitations, and finally reflections and personal impact. Okay, this dissertation came through Pennsylvania State University. This is a picture of the main campus in University Park, Pennsylvania, right in the central part of Pennsylvania. This is an R1 university that always ranks very well in U.S. News World Report, and that's talking about the graduate school. Here's some numbers on the Penn State Graduate School from 2014. A little over 12,000 graduate students, 2/3 of which are residential, spread out across 5 campuses, although most of them are on the main campus in University Park. And then you have about 4,000 graduate students and online. That's the world campus. So this paper came through the College of Education in the Department of Learning and Performance Systems, and then even below that, it was specifically from Learning Design and Technology program. That program itself has a master's degree as well as a PhD, but the PhD is only for residential students, and then you can do a master's program online through that department. They do also have a certificate program for learning design and technology, similar to our UKSDL program at University of Kentucky. This is the author, Dr. Michael M. Rook, who, as you can see, has a degree in computer science and a master's in secondary education and mathematics. Interesting note about his career: after getting his master's, his first job in 2006 was as a K-8 music teacher. It was interesting. He did that for 1 year, and then after that, he was an instructor somewhere else, and then came to where he is now, which is where he started back in 2008, and is where he was during his dissertation time, and that is at the Krause Innovation Studio. Teaching first, technology second. Great slogan there. And this is a really cool learning space, sponsored by the College of Education at Penn State, and it's on campus. Really great place for learning and doing research and talking about innovation. And you can book space, you can go there, spend time, work. It's a really cool place. Here's the research staff: Dr. Scott McDonald and Dr. Susan Land, as well as Dr. Rook. These two, McDonald and Land, were both on Dr. Rook's dissertation committee while he was working with them there at the Krause Innovation Studio. And again, that is at Penn State. The other committee members were, you had a co-chair, Dr. Simon Hooper, and co-chair, Dr. Kyle Peck. Hooper was a professor of learning, design, and technology, and then Dr. Peck is a professor of education and director of graduate studies. All committee members were very focused on using technology in education, and specifically using technology for learning, though, and not just for the sake of technology. Found this dissertation through ProQuest, searching for technology teacher leadership, using those words, which is funny because it's technically not teacher leadership, yet it's certainly tagged that way. And I found it right before the class started, actually. Unrelated, I was looking for things relating to my dissertation and found it. So it was the first dissertation that I found for this class. And as such, I had skimmed the paper a few times, decided I wanted to use it for my own purposes of research, but then also decided to use it for this class. And I kind of knew about it. I had read the abstract and looked at the results briefly, but then to actually analyze it, I read the entire paper through to get a good idea of the whole paper and navigate it well. Then it went back and analyzed each chapter using the scoring rubric, which went very well. This paper fit very well with the scoring rubric, and most things were adequate or excellent. Didn't really have any missing things. It transitioned in and out very, very well. It was a well-written paper. The research itself was exploratory in nature. The experiences of instructional technology, not exactly teacher leaders. I put them in parentheses there because they were pre-service teachers. So you had a 60-person cohort of pre-service teachers at Penn State, all in a professional development school, the PDS. And I did a similar program, actually. for my teacher training. So these are teachers who are they're not in they're spending most of their time in the classroom, maybe not as a full-time teacher yet, and then also time in courses. So they were working together in classes. And then this word techno hubs, actually very important, and I'll talk more about that in a second. It was mixed methods, so you had social network analysis, which was just a questionnaire to all cohort members used 3 times throughout the year, which quantitatively found the techno hubs. So the word techno hubs, it relies on social network analysis, and that's where the word hub comes from. It's referring to super hubs, which are the people who are most connected in a certain network. He took that word and combined it with technology. So these are people who are the most connected and the most knowledge as identified by the people in the network with regards to instructional technology, which is a very unique way of finding those people. And then it was also a phenomenological study, which that's where the interviews and observation were used to determine the lived experiences of those techno hubs. The framework was socio-cultural theory of learning by Vygotsky and social theory of learning, basically focused on peer assistance and how people learn together and connect, which was very important because it was using social network analysis. So there were 3 techno hubs identified in the cohort of 60 people. And we have some of the charts here from the paper itself. Let's scroll up to right here. Okay, this is a great example of using social network analysis. You get this chart. All these little blue dots are the actors, all the people in the network, and their size is actually relative to their importance. So some of the bigger blue dots here, or squares, sorry, are the ones that have maybe more info, more importance with instructional technology. And then the big red dots are the 3 people who were identified. They, as you can see, the arrows are important. The arrows show where information is going. Or I'm sorry, where information is coming from. All these dots mean they went to these people for help. It's very social network analysis is very cool for identifying these. Like here's a representation of the authority measures. It's just a quantitative way to find these pre-service teacher leaders in instructional technology. Implications for pre-service teacher programs. That's really what came away from the qualitative data, and those were very good. They were very focused on peer learning and peer assistance for PDSs. Strengths, the framework was used as a tool for analysis very clearly. It was very evident that peer assistance was the focus and that the social learning theory was evident in everything throughout the analysis as well. Using social network analysis, definitely a strength. It was very well done and definitely something I got out of the paper. Great implications for PDSs, that they're very important to be cohort-based, or that there's peer instruction and there's peer learning going on, and that it's structured that way at a basic level. And then another strength was just the analysis and explanation of social network analysis. It was very well done, and it made social network analysis really accessible, especially to me who had never seen it before this paper. Limitations, there's kind of identity crisis on this, whether it was going to teacher leadership of in-service or pre-service. So it was very unclear throughout the paper what the goal was. Were you learning more about pre-service or in-service? So the implications were definitely geared towards these PDS programs for pre-service teachers. But there was also some mention of teacher leadership, but not enough. And it just sort of felt like it wasn't quite as focused on either. And it sort of fell short that way, kind of like there was a hole. The sample was a bit of an issue. There were 59 women and 1 man in the sample for this, which that's very skewed numbers, but kind of out of his control though. Personal reflections, love the use of social network analysis, and the techno hubs, that term is actually something I am taking away to use in reference to in-service teachers who are teacher instructional technology leaders. So I'm definitely taking away a lot on that. I really like the mixed methods design, that the way it kind of melded together quantitative and qualitative methods. It was very well done. And then the instrument, I'm actually using a similar instrument that Dr. Rook used to identify techno hubs, but with in-service teachers. So definitely got a lot out of this dissertation that I plan on using as well. Thank you very much. This has been an in-depth review of Technohub of assisting peers with instructional technology issues by Dr. Michael Rook. Please feel free to leave any comments below the video here, and thanks a lot for watching.